Bene, buongiorno.
Good morning, welcome. I'm very happy to be here and to be back here in Modena after a few months of the inauguration of the Motor Valley Accelerator. We launched it in November, and then everything stopped, and then everything came back to normal, and I'm happy to be here to start again. So everything stopped, and then everything restarted. So in this hour, in this coming hour, in this meeting that has been organized and organized by Unicredit with the Modena Foundation and CDP. So during this event, we will tell how the accelerator has been working, how it was launched in the automotive industry, what are the ambitious projects included in this industry that is undergoing deep change. And we will also discuss about the support that the accelerator is going to give to the startups. So in Modena, we like to look forward, we like to consider the future, and to say one day that this area allowed the creation of a new automotive player. This is a great challenge, and we want to tell the story of what is the contribution of this territory for the car of the future and the different mobility topics. So once again, we would like to say how the Motor Valley, how the motorsports industry in Italy can be a great laboratory in order to accelerate the automotive industry. So let's start with Paolo Cavicchioli, President of the Fondazione di Modena. To you the floor. Well, first of all, thank you and welcome to be here with us. We are happy because we are here together while in November it was an hybrid event and most of the attendees were connected live, while today here we are here in presence, so we are very happy. So thanks to the mayor of Modena, to the President Padoan, Mr. Ferro. Unfortunately, Gorno Tempini is not here. He will be connected, and Mr. Ferro for the agency each. So thanks for being here for this event. I think that this event represents what bank foundations can do for the development of the areas, territories. I think we should depict our history as well. It was not taken for granted that a foundation can also improve the economic development of territories apart from the social development. And this is due to the founding fathers with the Amato Law of the 90 and 99 Ciampi decree that allows to the foundation article to act on the economic development of territories. So it is in this scenario that this project has been created. We decided to support Accelerator, the development of companies, and in particular the involvement of young people here in this region, because in the end we have to bet on our future generation, on our human capital that must grant competitiveness to our enterprises, to our area. So focusing on economic development means be aware of the social, of the technical changes we are undergoing. So in sudden technological accelerations and technologies that are intertwined and that change development paradigms and development models, and in particular on the motorsports event, they represent a fundamental value, of course, allowing our region to be well known at worldwide level. We arrived here thanks to the collaboration of several players. And, for example, with the Motor Valley Fest, we thought that the industry is considered as a value from a tourist point of view, from an economic point of view. And we did it with our partners. We repositioned our relationship with the bank, with Unicredit. There has been a fundamental project, not just for capitals that Unicredit wanted to invest, but also for the proactive collaboration that the management allowed during this long pathway that has been started very far away in 2018. Then it was stopped, and then it was recovered, and then up to November the 4th, 2020, when we launched the Accelerator. So the attention of this bank to the territories is something that is rooted back in history with the relationship between the Cassa di Risparmio in Modena and Unicredit, a relationship that has been nurtured with the region and the local scenario. And I think that with this new ways of exchanging expertise and experiences, we might find an interesting direction, interesting pathway to foster development. Another important partner of this project has been the Cassa Deposito e Prestiti. The first project could not be implemented because we didn't have the conditions necessary to create it, to realize it. And thanks to the Cassa Deposito e Prestiti, they funded the project, but they also were, it's not just a matter of capitals, of funds, but it's also a matter of human capitals, of people, of skills. And what Cassa Deposito e Prestiti did in the landscape of our country over the last years has been an interesting work, which is going to give us the results in the medium term. And we cannot renounce to this capital, to this important aspect. And with them, we also wanted to boost relationship systems so that we can get in touch with the other accelerator systems, because mobility, automotive are part of an holistic vision on innovation, and our country is now having a clear-cut strategy. I have to thank many players. First, let me start with Unicredit for their vision and the management of the Unicredit Bank as well, the President Gorno Tempini and the CEO of the former management of the Cassa Deposito e Prestiti, Fabrizio Palermo, who strongly believed in new strategy, industrial, political strategy devoted to innovation, the entire team, and two important players to which we entrust our capital because we know that this will create a value not just from an economic point of view but also from a social point of view. And I'm referring to CRIT, which has a strong knowledge of the local ecosystem, the local scenario, and the plug and play, which is investing in this initiative, and this attracts many young people from any part of the continent. So thank you all and welcome to this event. So it has been work team, and I would like to invite Piercarlo Padoan, President of UniCredit. He is a well-known person. Together, UniCredit, CDP, and the Foundation of Modena is one of the supporters of this Accelerator event. Good morning, and thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's my first event in presence from when I accepted this challenging role. So thank you for inviting me so that I could come back to Modena, a city that I like a lot. Just a few words to stress something that is probably highly visible, but I would like to point out that this event, this initiative, the Motor Valley Fest, is taking place in a very particular moment. President Draghi said that the national development, the national growth can be even higher than the official estimate, that is 4.5 or 5%. When I was covering that role, I remember that we did not even mention this type of percentages because we could not think that the country could grow in this way. But it can. And so this is the challenge. The country is growing, will grow up to 5% due to an accidental situation, and that it stops sooner or later to be dynamic, or maybe can continue to follow this dynamic pathway. Even if it's 2.5 or 3% of growth, it will be a success for Italy. So this crossroad that is in front of us depends on the ability of the country to mobilize its resources. This is the real challenge. 5% partially reflects a rebound, and of course we welcome this, but we have to transform this accidental situation into something more, into something more stable that can bring us in the future. So history, know-how, human capital, resources, all these factors represent the winning condition. And growth does not depend on figures, on math, but it depends on the entrepreneurial ability at large to gather all these factors and to work together. This is the challenge we have to face today. This is what we feel, and this requires two further elements. First of all, we must be convinced that we can do it. So it means a trust, and figures say that the trust in families and in companies is improving after this terrible period of time. And secondly, this time, compared to the financial crisis of 10 years ago, banks, instead of being part of the problem, are part of the solution. Because banks play a fundamental role. They have a great task today, that is that of transforming savings, and we know that it has been accumulated in bank accounts, into investments. So this capital that is there deposited in an electronic bank account can be transformed into something lasting over time. So economists say that bank needs to allocate such resources. They need to allocate this money into, a more fruitful investment so that it can boost the growth, the economic growth. And I would like to underline this because the history has been difficult, but the banking system is reinforced after crisis. So after consolidating, reinforcing bank statements, we have to then direct our resources into investments. And we have to do it in a new context because everybody says we will go back to a new normal where the values of sustainability, inclusivity, and gender equity, so those values that are associated to this acronym ESG, so that they enrich remarkably the ability, the impact of resources into into the economy, how resources are used. It goes through territories because the way this allocation is done needs to get in touch with the places, so need to be back in touch with the territories, with the regions. So for banks, we have a huge task. And I'm also speaking on behalf of this bank that I today represent, because this bank, but all banks, represent a fundamental tool to recover, to relaunch the growth, and to be able to say that that 5% growth has been consolidated, has been reinforced, and is now the new normal. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you, President. It's a really ambitious challenge, the one we have for the growth. We really wish for it to be a challenge that can be managed. Now we will listen to the video message from the President of CDP, Giovanni Rompini. Let's listen to it. Good morning. I would like to greet my friend Paolo Cavicchiali, the President Piercarlo Pademan, and all members, all participants. Thank you very much for inviting me to such an important event for a territory like the one in l'Emilia-Romagna region. I'm sorry for not being there, but unfortunately institutional meetings prevented me from participating directly. Emilia-Romagna is a territory whose strategic importance at international level is well known in terms of production, of export. It's a territory hosting many industrial districts such as automotive, biomedical, ceramic, packaging, food, and other sectors as well. And these industrial districts are the protagonists of this manufacturing and economic recovery of our country, and will cover a fundamental role to decide the next policies for development. The production system in Emilia-Romagna proved to be resilient, facing the challenges posed by the technological transition in such a difficult moment and tragic moment like the period we had to face with the pandemic. It involved the entire production chain, valuable production chain that is our system. Is a flexible system which managed to survive despite the pandemic and which now shows to grow again. This growth is accompanied by planning of investment, of high investment amounts in the main sectors of the economy, to which the automotive sector belongs. The automotive sector is one of the most articulated, but still has a strong regional character. And this is also true for the production chain integrating finished products and raw materials. It is a main component of the Italian industry, with a turnover reaching up to 106 millions of euros, so the 11% of the manufacturing production in Italy. Italy is well positioned. It has global value chains which are really important, which are higher in competitivity terms, the highest in the manufacturing sector, that contributes to the production chains of international partners. It's worth to mention that the German production chain absorbs 20% of the total value. The future of automotive in our country is fundamental and will depend on the capacity to identify the new trends in the sector, which show a strong speed up of the alternative cars in these last moments. It is necessary to support the transition and to invest in the sustainability by involving small and medium enterprises and favor the internationalization and the consolidation of external of foreign markets and emerging markets. The role of innovation is fundamental, which may be created thanks to the partnership with the research centers, companies, and institutions, facilitating the creation of new enterprises. New enterprises are the future, and the main objective of the accelerator needs to be centered on the technologies which will be the future, the self-assisted guided cars, hydrogen, and other resources will require strong skills and competitivity. And the objective of the accelerator is to be the engine, the driver for this research, the driver of this innovation. It is an initiative created by the cooperation between the Cassa Depositi and Prestiti with our USGR, dedicated to the venture capital, with CREEP, plug-and-play partnership with the Modena Foundation and Unicredit, leveraging the ecosystem already present in the area, starting from Ferrari, Magneti Marelli, Dallara, Savet, and so on, by combining know-how at international, local level, centered around the open innovation. Motor Tech is part of an overall strategy, including venture capitals. It's based on innovation and wants to create a network of physical accelerators on the ground, concentrated on the districts which are highly specialized in technology, and a digital accelerator dedicated to the training and create a network for the innovative startups in Italy. Among these accelerators, many were created, and our task is becoming more and more crucial for creating the conditions so that the best practices can be put at the disposal of this network. And our main objective is also to increase the possibilities of dialogue in view of being more effective in pursuing an objective like the one I described, which is extremely important, which allow us to create new enterprises and promote them and create jobs, sustainable jobs, in a view to respect people, to put them on an equal balance, and to be present on the territory. It is an initiative which is very important, and I wish you success. I wish for the startups selected in this phase, I wish them to be successful, and I thank you for this great job. And it will be for sure a great job. I would like to call the mayor of Modena, Giancarlo Mozzarelli. There was a nice atmosphere in this city since the first hours of this morning, thanks to the Motor Valley Fest. The floor is yours. Thank you. I would like to thank the President Paduan President Cavicchioli and the president of Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. This is the right occasion to restart, to push for to push on the accelerator of development. In this case, we speak about an accelerator, but also about a system created in Modena, in Emilia-Romagna, a brand which is Modena, which is very important, where we have an extraordinary team of entrepreneurs, of researchers, of university students and scholars who decided to cooperate to bring to life what our President Draghi and Paduan described, to increase the structural possibilities. That's the right moment to exit the emergency period and to push on the accelerator of the recovery. That's the fertile ground. We have a lot of enterprises, companies who submitted new projects to consolidate their business. That's the right choice. Our system decided to reinforce the investments and to launch and consolidate the entrepreneurial system at local level. The public administration shall push and motivate the companies to make clear that the sustainable in smart inclusive growth and also ecological growth is really important. The Agenda 2030 is a point of reference, and so shall be for everybody. And we should create the tracks for the entrepreneurs to start running and developing the possibilities and to enhance the responses. It is a changing world, and it's moving rapidly at a high pace, more than we can imagine. We are currently redesigning the the urban plan of our city at pace with the new world that is moving fast. Yesterday, we listened to a very important report which already sets some strategies, and we should grasp these strategies and be the forerunners to push our system into the right direction. Modena is an important reality, and thanks God, we start to bear the fruits. There is a positive sign we can see, and we have to be there. We have to produce a quality job service. We have to increase the value of the human asset. And we have to create, in cooperation with universities, the new training formats. That is, the automotive is an extraordinary value. We actually speak about a territory of 40,000 square meters with many jobs. We were at the university this morning to discuss about the new changes and the new impacts on the territory. And I said we should start from our companies. Then other companies will add up to this network. But let's start from here. This accelerator, startup accelerator, is fundamental because it has to help us to put together the intelligence from different sides to make the difference. We have to have the right response to enhance the whole system. So I thank you, and I do not only thank you, but I'm sure that the public administration is really engaged, committed on this ground. And I said the last thing. Everybody says that the territory is fundamental. So let's all remember always that the territory is fundamental. I say that because I want Draghi to remember. I want the banks to remember it. I want everybody to remember it. If the territory is fundamental, don't escape from the territory. Be here with us. Face this challenge with us. Let's build up a stronger team, because that's the right condition to make the difference, and that will push the country, our country, towards the future. Thank you, Mayor. Our country is really the country of territories when it comes to industries. So let's make them grow. Let's conclude this first phase with Carlo Ferro, which is the president of the Italian Trade Agency dealing with the internationalization of companies, of enterprises. There we go. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I think it works. I think that you are many, and many people are asking themselves this question: what does the ITA agency have to do with that? I explain, mentioning 3 points. We have a new ITA agency investing on innovation, digital, and digitalization and environment, and which is concentrating on small and medium enterprises. And before becoming a small enterprise, we are a startup. So here comes the main attention, our main attention to startups. In these last years, we multiplied by 3 our effort to support the startups. In particular, that's what we do with 3 new initiatives. The first one is the Global Startup Program, which is a program encouraging experiences for startups to grow. We are at the second edition. We have 130 startups from Italy, which are now exhibiting abroad their products. This gives the possibility for foreigners to get acquainted with our products, with our experiences. They can access and know more information about foreign markets, calibrate their products according to the needs of foreign markets, and they can also create agreements, production chain agreements, or a relationship with a venture capital that can also attract new capitals. The second point, we want to do more to bring the Italian startups to participate to foreign trade fairs. An example is the initiative we are now preparing in Los Angeles. In LA, we envied that initiative, but now we increased by 2 our participation from Italy to the next CES in LA. And we have to find a partnership in the system of Italian venture capital acceleration to select new companies. So we do that in cooperation with Viva Technology in France and with many other initiative promoters. The third point is the following. Startups, if they want to grow, they cannot like young children, keep on going to school in Italy. They must move abroad. So we are destined, allocated the space that our agency had when preparing the international trade fairs. Probably in the past we used to distribute the leaflets. That space is no longer dedicated to that. It's now a corner dedicated to startups. Yesterday we had the 7 startups when we inaugurated the PT event. We also organized other events. For example, the shoe trade fairs, the fashion shows. The reason why I'm here is that sometimes the events cross. And we have many projects that originate from just a small design made on a napkin. When we speak about the Global Startup Program and CS, it happened in January 2020 to meet the Minister for Innovation at the CS, and we organized a meeting with Said Amiti, which was our partner in the program we had with the Silicon Valley. And from this basis originated an agreement, a systemic agreement in which foreign accelerators may come to Italy, accompanied by systemic venture capital and also by strategic operators of the production chain. So I'm very pleased that the first of these ones was exactly the one we are talking about, the Motor Valley, which is linked with the automotive industry, where the innovation opportunities presented by the connected vehicle, the new models of mobility, and the e-car all represent a possibility that the country must not miss. We were probably lagging behind concerning the web economy, but we must catch up. And today I'm pleased to announce that we enter as ITA agency in a more structured agreement to be part of the multiplication of the scalability of this problem, this plan. The cooperation we have on our foreign plans and the accelerators in Italy can also facilitate and multiply, scale up this plan. The third reason why I'm here, and here I close my speech, this is a great example to create a network, to network. The pandemic forced us to face new challenges, and we have to be supplementary. We have to group up with other actors, stakeholders. We have to face together the new challenges. So I believe the example of the participation of a bank which is attentive to the territory, which cares for our territory and has a great financial capacity. The Italian Trade Agency being active abroad, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs supporting this activity together with the private world is the vertical layer that is capable of supporting these specific incubators, and also the representatives from our territory. And here I would like to greet the mayor in Modena. I think this is a great example gathering us all. The success is teamwork, and I think we can win this match if we act together. Thank you, President. You really earned the place you have in this event today. Thank you. This commitment in favor of startups is very important. Now I give the floor to the organizers. Thank you very much. We listened to all speakers. Now we move to the second part of our event. We deal with innovation, with models aimed at accelerating the innovation. The point is to accelerate the growth, to innovate, and this is very important for the automotive sector. It is a challenge. It's a great challenge because the sector is not yet mature, but it's undergoing an important transformation. So I would like to call the speakers of this event: Enrico Lesmini, GDP Venture Capital SGR. The fund of GDP is centered around the themes of innovation. Andrea Zozzetto, which is the managing partner of Italy Plug and Play. They are the ones who do the practical work, right? So then we have Eugenio Razzelli, Automotive Strategic Advisor and President of the Accelerator. He's really a father, the father of the Accelerator. We can sense that, right? And then Marco Paracchi, General Manager of CRIF. It's a company participating in the management of this project with Creda. That's my micro, that's yours. You all have your mic. I sit down here. So the event has been organized in such a way that I can see you all. Tericani, let's start from you. The Accelerator of Motor Valley is one of the initiatives of your credit institute, but it's not the only one in favor of the innovation. I would like you to tell us more about the engagement in support of innovation. It's not to be taken for granted. Yes. First of all, when it comes to startups, UniCredit already had a plan since many years. Is it called UniCredit Start Lab? We incubate and we make grow about 200 startups every year. That's the traditional way by which we started to motivate the startups. The Motor Valley Accelerator was an initiative that included us straight away, because a commercial bank can be successful if it knows a territory. When you act in a territory like ours, where there is a production chain which is leader at the global level, and you know that you have to face some challenges which are typical of this moment, like the digitalization, the sustainability applied to the sector, it is clear that there is a disruption that can be probably improved in our sector. So we are trying to put in contact the different elements, and nobody can act alone. We should act together So we have an audience of stakeholders who came here to try to cooperate. Startup is represents a piece of the industrial world we want to cooperate with. As UniCredit, we are currently working on other fronts. We are currently simplifying the system and offering an opening to our companies so that they can start selling online as well. This came really important after the pandemic period. We help companies to open up an e-commerce website, and we help them out digitalize themselves. Selling online is very difficult sometimes. As a pan-European bank, we have to play the match and help our companies to internationalize themselves. We are present in the main export countries such as Germany and Eastern Europe. But we can also accompany and help the smallest companies which would never be capable of acting alone. We created a platform called Easy Export, which puts in contact the buyers and the sellers at global level, and putting at the disposal of companies a logistic platform, an e-platform, a legal support facility, and a legal experience. So among the 1,200 companies participating in these initiatives, well, many of them grew by 20%. So there are forms which can be helpful to generate the discontinuity, mainly in this phase where we have to find a new normality, a new normal way of growing. The world changed, and we want our growth dynamic to change. Growing by 2% every year means creating jobs, and that's our overall objective. We are used to see CDP engaged on many fronts. The main industrial plans, well, you all participate in these initiatives, and thanks to the fund that you preside. And how are you accelerating the work that has been done in these fields? What's the strategy? Yes, we started from 1 year and a half ago. The objective of venture capital is to develop the Italian system, which was lagging behind compared to other systems. We had one number for everybody. We had 600 millions of capital invested. And in France and in Germany, you see some billions, not just hundreds of millions of billions. So we decided to launch this strong initiative in the system with an initial reserve of 1 billion, which now became 1.5 billion with a strong capital component. But the capital is just one element. It's not enough. It's fundamental. So let's not be romantic. It's not just enough to have an idea. We do need a capital, a basic capital. But if you want to make your company grow, you have to learn new skills. If you want to build up a company, you have to learn. You have to learn the job. And the genial idea is to get acquainted with new technologies, but you also have to find a fertile ground that help you to make the enterprise, and that's the function of accelerators. We realized that in Italy we did not have a country strategy on the accelerators, which represents a very important part for the people who want to learn new things. So we included in our strategy to create a network of accelerating programs centered around the one we made in Modena, which was the first we started to work on with Cavicchioli a few months ago. So we decided to mainstream this project and to act in those regions with a strong industrial presence, and plans must be financed for many years. So the overall financing, if we put together UniCredit Foundation and other stakeholders, well, we speak about 20 millions about, and this includes the following steps to be made. When you learn, you have to develop a business plan, but when you become an enterprise, you need to be supported. So this network of accelerators is unique at world level. Nobody has it. And we managed to build it up thanks to the features that Italy has. Italy is long and very thin. And creating a network of accelerators which are all in connection with each other is easy somehow. And this initiative can help our companies to grow and can also involve banks that help them to grow. This really can be scalable, can be can create a new system. So people who create an accelerator program and who come here will have a tremendous visibility because they can bring a new solution, for example, on batteries. I just give you an example. It's a startup that we are currently looking at in these days. This initiative can be very interesting for the automotive sector, but also for other industrial sectors. So another sector that participates in this network can benefit from that. So startups need to get capitals, but they also need to create turnover. If they don't create turnover, well, they don't have the resources. So as a bank, we focused on the acceleration and we dedicated a team. We created an investment fund. And today I'm very happy because the first startups start to be selected, and in a few weeks they will be starting to work because we have to make them work. They will sweat, but they will become stronger. And I like to think that we are on a territory that is fundamental, in a sector that is fundamental, and together with our partners, we can become really an example. You started from the engines, right? It's not by chance.
Zorzetto, plug and play.
Zorzetto, plug and play. You said we were saying you are the ones doing things, recruiting companies, generating programs. Can you share with us your figures, your data, information? Can you tell us something from an operational point of view? First of all, good morning, plug and play. Player of the Silicon Valley, as you can see from my clothing today. So we want to bring the Silicon Valley spirit here in the Motor Valley. We have, of course, institutional stakeholders. So you just pointed out a difference of age. No, I'm just focusing on clothing, not on age. So as what is super interesting, due to the fact that we are opening here in Modena, we are located in 30 cities in the world, San Francisco, Shanghai, and Modena is the smallest town. So in terms of inhabitants, but hosting a great and incredible district. So we are trying to adapt our Californian mindset to the Italian district. So we found great interest, both from the startup point of view and from the partner companies, because the other institutional investors and CREED, we have several partner companies. You will listen to Marley and ST Electronic, but 5 more companies will join our partnership. So this means we can create a sound program. When we started in Milan, at the beginning we had 3-4 partners, and of course it's important to count on companies, local companies, because they help startups aside, capitals. They create jobs So as for startups, our program is centered on automotive. We highlighted the number of startups existing in Italy, 150, and then you have the ones focused only on automotive, the others embracing maybe smart mobility and so on. But we want to create this program with an automotive approach. We receive 105 applications from Italy, but also from abroad. There was a selection day in May where applicants sent their solutions and their proposals, and then we selected the 9 best applicants, and the program is about to start July 12th. So you will work during summer. Yes, we will work, but there will be a digital part, so we can work from the beach, from the seaside, but starting from September 1st, we'll be here back in Modena in one Unicredit's premise office. Do you like the social life here in Modena? We, as a team, we are here for the whole weekend, but tonight we will watch the Euro soccer game of Italy playing. So why an automotive company? Why creating startups in the automotive industry? It's not easy. Maybe it's easier in the mobility field, while the automotive, it's a more difficult and challenging industry. So it's hard to have an impact. So why a company in the automotive or components or big players should come and knock on your door today? So Andrea is saying that he has a Californian outfit. So I do not have a tie, and I'm, representing all the blue collars and factory workers, and I'm very proud of it. So we started November 2020, and we are still walking towards the pathway. I would like to thank my team, Enrico Dente, Fiammetta, Arianna. I don't remember her last name, but I know she's from Venice. So we worked hard all together. I was convinced from the beginning. I invested in startups, but not in the automotive industry. I was thinking that the automotive industry was a standalone ecosystem. But if there is a place where this gap can be filled, it's exactly in the Motor Valley. So we involved companies by suggesting this particular formula of this accelerator. So developing an early stage startup, and the plug and play opening to the entire world was a value added proposition. But the first value is a technical one, because otherwise companies working, of course, they want to have a financial return, but those who must implement product services, of course, are interested in the type of product. So we were able to convince some partners to test us, and I think that we will grasp good results. But I won't be long, I assure you. When I managed Magneti Marelli, I had a startup in-house because we developed electrical motors in the racing industry, and we were very open. We were interested to any new technology, so this startup idea can produce real value, because we can show the way, or because we can exclude the way, one way, in order to avoid any waste of time. And then there are other values, because all companies are in the ESG phase, so developing new talents, new companies, startups, it means enriching the country. The other idea that is extremely important, in my opinion, in particular for Italy, is that we manage this accelerator in an open way. We are in touch with other accelerators supported by CDP, and we cannot replicate the same action. So contact with the company, having a share mass, working together, this is fundamental. So I'm pretty satisfied of what we have done until today, but of course we still have a lot of road in front of us. And the good thing of this region is to be able to transform a passion into an industry. Baraki, Krit, can you help us in understanding the model you selected to recruit these startups, to identify them? So it's a classic model. So we launched a call for startups, but before we contacted university, research centers, other incubators to promote our initiative. And as Andrea Zorzetto said before, we contacted the most interesting startups in the sector. So we carried out a scouting action in order to promote these newborn initiatives, because we, of course, were not well known because we were at the beginning, so we needed a promotion action. What we evaluate in startups is the team. We must find a strong entrepreneurial spirit and mindset. They have to believe in it. They have to work full-time. If they are researchers or if they are employed by other companies, they have to, leave their previous job in order to focus full-time in this new initiative. And of course, having the right skills. And then secondly, we assess their technological proposals. So we consider if it's really an innovation and maybe solving a real problem existing in the industry. And so partner companies are crucial in that, because they can help us in understanding if the proposal of that startup, is meaningful at industrial level. As for technologies, we are looking for all technologies related to electrification, batteries, but also high performance batteries. Of course, we are in the motor valleys, so the needs of the motor valleys are pretty specific, and we have a focus for motorsport companies with high performances. If we consider digitization, connectivity, cybersecurity, blockchain, but also other IT tools allowing companies to develop quickly their products, and then autonomous driving, self-driving, which means AI, safety, but a new way of living the car. So, of course, we want to ensure there's a passion in driving, pleasure. So, autonomous driving, but also preserving this passion for driving. And we already found an interesting startup in this field. And then removing weight, so lightening the weight of the materials, aerodynamics, and sustainability, last but not least, which means for us hydrogen solutions, but also new fuels. It could be e-fuel, synthetic fuels, because we believe in electrification, but not only in that. We will need new types of fuels. So discovering that part, enhancing the transition. I have one last curiosity, and then it's about time to end this session. So you stress the quality of teams even before technologies. Soft skills, of course, have an importance, a strong importance, even exactly as hard skills. So this accelerating pathway is also needed to develop these skills. Of course, you must find, the seed in order to water it and to turn it into a plant, into a flower. Thank you. We will take a picture on stage. So one of the most interesting things in this Accelerator project is that you have partner companies involved in it. We have two partner companies, and I would like to invite here Alessandro Magnoni, Head of Institutional Relations, EMEA at Marelli, and ST Alessandro, ST Microelectronics. I'm sorry, I made a mistake with your first name. So two excellencies of the Made in Italy, two jewels, but we have white hair. That's the problem of coming after the Motor Valley outfit, the younger outfit. So we start from you, from Marelli, very well known in the automotive industry in Italy. So your company, which is committed in developing ADAS system in electrification, what do you need and what do you look for in this accelerator project? I would like to go back to what Mr. Tempini said before, and it explains why Marelli decided to take part in this project. He stressed the importance of the value chain in the automotive industry. And we tend to forget this. The real reason why the Marelli Group, with 170 centers, development centers in the world, where innovation and development, represent the real key driving factor, is to help and to enhance the value chain. What is behind the creation, the design of a car. And this, underwent an acceleration. So from the operators, from the institutions, in my opinion, and that it was clearly said before, there is this need to invest on one side and also to support the business. So it's a very positive moment. And the recovery and resilience plan, even if it doesn't include specific details for this, but we read some, missions belonging to this field anyway. So that's why we decided to support this project. We take part in the Motor Valley since 2017 with different projects. We are part of this university, and of course we work with the most important car manufacturers. You see Maserati, Ferrari. We work with them for several years, and you can find them in this beautiful city. So the project, from mixture between research centers, startups, companies, industrial partners, can be enlarged even at national level and maybe at international level. So it's interesting to see how your company, well-known company, can, keep on investing in innovation and this accelerator systems. Because if you can look for talents outside the company, maybe you can do great things and even go quicker. So Alessandro, your reality, your organization is very important for Italy. Sole 24 Ore, my newspaper, has been launching the alarm in relation to the crisis or lack of microchips. And so we discovered this new reality for Italy. So what is the open innovation model that you follow, that you adopt? Before starting, I would like to go back to what you highlighted this morning. You said we are an international company. We want to meet the needs of a worldwide market, but we are located here. And in our opinion, in Italy represents an important area where we can find skills, talents. We find, for example, young talents. Maybe they do not live in California. They wear T-shirts, though. Maybe they do not discuss at the cafeteria how to turn an idea into a business model, which can be considered as normal in the States, but they are part of this area. I do not know what is the ST history, but I can imagine what happened when there was this convergence with the automotive. Maybe those who invested at that time, they drank a coffee at the cafeteria, they tested, they made mistake, and then they keep on going. They kept on going. So innovation starts from here, from the region, from the local area, but looking forward. How can we be innovators if we are not open-minded, open to differences? It means being able to listen to people, to be there and to even commit mistakes, but of course you then have to sustain, to support innovations. Before you talked about territory. We invest in R&D with a high percentage of our turnover. If you want to have a return of one, you have to invest $1. And our chief financial officer, of course, knew it. So it is a challenging picture. Why do we invest 15% of our turnover in R&D? Because in our sector, if we have to maintain our competitiveness. Innovation is a need, for our life, for our way of working. We have 8,000 researchers, 3,000 located in Italy. But in order to put into value the entire chain, you have to start from a technical idea, and then there is the ability to transfer it into the market and then to develop new designs. There are several situations.
All squared is something that I never managed to change. I could never change the shape of this object. So innovation is the following. We have 3,000 researchers in Italy. How can we keep them there? We created a technical network involving 700 researchers having something more. They have a passion for technology. They have inside this capacity of really insisting with their boss. They don't leave them in peace. So it's what we look for. We have 700 people like that. It is a career that's at an equal footing with the manager. So even internally, not everybody succeeds. It's a very difficult career, if you want. And this is a very important fact. If you want to be capable of being open, of being innovative, of attracting innovation, you have to have these resources inside of your team. Once I tried to set up a team to represent universities in Italy with which we cooperate. When I saw the number of companies, I said, okay, we cooperate with all of them. And I ask myself the question, why do we give the freedom to these 700 researchers to make innovation growth and to make the network grow? That's the basis. So our technical community must be involved, must be part of the innovation. But the innovation is the capacity, is the competence of bringing new products onto the market. So we accompany our researchers, and we are investing in Italy in a factory. We are invested about 2 billions of euros. I have been in Messina, and we finance the half of what is needed to finish up the bridge in Messina. If we don't create the market, the conditions for the market to develop, we will never succeed. That's quite a difficult paradigm to make coexist the capacity for investment and the capacity of innovating is crucial. If we don't invest, the factory is empty. So you all know how a business plan is drawn. You must have an internal magnet to be successful, something attracting, something that is really passionate for innovation. We speak a lot about our technical community and about the relationship we have with our universities, but we have to have a technological platforms that can be useful for small companies as well. So the technological investment is crucial. The investment on the platform is really the quantum leap. In particular, when you start working on the market, when we speak about the objects, who is better than Italy when it comes to objects, luxury objects? I've seen objects on the market costing even 1 billion euros, but there is something in between. I mean, an intermediate. We have to make electronics easy to use. And that's what we understood. We made it accessible. We made it more user-friendly. We cooperated with our partner in Turin to make this possible. And we managed to do that. And today, people who produce the smart table, the smart car, a smart object, they gather together because that piece we wanted to build was built. And it's fundamental. We created something more. We in the automotive sector, we speak about the mobility, not just the car. And when we speak about mobility, we speak about something technological that turns into a service. There is an intermediate step. The capacity of creating is crucial. I mean, people who speak technical jargon speak about servitization of markets. We dedicated a lot of resources to this point, and we put at the disposal all our contacts, the contacts we have in Italy, companies making design, making electronics, because our basis is the automotive, and there is a lot of there is a series of suppliers. There are many different production chains being involved, and we can put together all stakeholders that can cooperate together. In so doing, we created 20 initiatives in Italy in cooperation with universities. We created centers where we make the usage of technology user-friendly. So we start from the capacity of attracting new stakeholders, and the capacity of helping is crucial as well. When we speak about open innovation, I call it continuous innovation. It's not just open. It's doing it, keep on doing it. That's the real difference. We all know that when we have something good, we concentrate on selling it and not really a lot of innovation, but the innovation becomes fundamental. So we spoke about different pieces, technical community, centers, cooperation centers. We created initiatives aimed at helping different companies. All products can be showcased on a platform, on a web platform. Today, all companies want to ramp up, want to increase their business. And we have a codified program for these companies, helping them out to be exposed and visible in the outside world. And here come the accelerators. So what do we expect to see inside an accelerator? We expect to see companies that can use the most advanced products we have. We work with the international players at world level, companies producing high-tech telephones, cars. So we have a lot to offer when it comes to technology. But other companies, being part of the system, can use this experience. We expect the companies to exploit this economic advantage we offer on the territory, on the ground, and with the investment we make, we expect them to benefit from that to expand their business. Today, we are leader in the self-guided car. I don't give you the name of this company. It's an Israeli company that was supported by us. Thanks to this company, now all these systems contain a chip, an internal chip that was made thanks to our help. This company was now taken over by a competitor, but still works with us, is still working with us because we had the capacity to bring all these products onto the market. And other realities don't have this capacity, so that's the key. That's crucial. We expanded by 15 minutes. We took this time, we used it, and it was really worth doing that. I'm really passionate for innovation, so sorry for skipping the time. I hope you can change the shape and the color of the microchip. We can organize a meeting on the Italian design if you want next time. Yeah, so yes, it's really important. Our next meeting will be centered around that, and we'll be wearing a T-shirt dedicated to this brand. Thank you very much for your precious contribution. Thank you for the job that has been done, and a good Motor Valley Fest to all of you. Thank you.